Mike Hama. Coach Penders, would you make an opening statement, please?
I thought the team that played better won the ball game. South Carolina played better than we did, deserved to win the ball game. Got to give a ton of credit to Michael Roth. He settled in. I think we allowed him to settle in a little bit, and he did a good job, really good job. That's why he's one of the best pitchers in the country. Mixed really well. Didn't strike a lot out, but got us to hit swing at some pitches that he wanted us to swing at. We shouldn't have swung at, and kept us off balance all night. Morales made a hell of a play on George's ball that would have gone down the line. Could have been a different ball game if that gets by them. They made the plays when they had to, made pitches, and had their best at bats when they had to, and we didn't. I loved our energy coming out. Felt like we did a very good job in the first inning. Probably needed to put a crooked number up there early, and just didn't get it done.
Take questions this time for the student athletes. If you raise your hand, please.
George, could you talk about that 5-4-3 double play? It looked like you guys had a chance to really get something going there.
Yeah, he made a good pitch and I put a good swing on it, but the third baseman made an unbelievable play, and I think that was a big factor in what actually switched the momentum around. He blocks that ball. He throws out John, and his second baseman makes a quick turn and gets hit first. And if that doesn't happen, we have second and third, and who knows?
David?
Matt, it seemed like your offerings were a couple of miles per hour faster in the first inning. What changed between the first and the second? Were you just a little geeked up in the first?
I don't know. I just between the first and the later innings, I just wasn't making pitches when I had to. That pretty much sums it up. Didn't make the pitches when I had to. They scored in the third and the fourth with 2 outs. They had nobody on, and they scored in those innings with 2 outs. So just wasn't my best outing, and hopefully I get a chance to go back out there and keep my team a quality start.
George, from back here, pretty much from the word go in this tournament, you guys have kind of had your backs against the wall. Can you draw on last weekend for tomorrow's game? I mean, you guys are pretty familiar with the must-win situation.
Yeah, we've been in this situation. I mean, this is I honestly don't even know how many times. And you just have to go out and just have a ever-state tie, and just go out and have fun. And yeah, we have there's a lot of pressure on us, but there's also a lot of pressure on them too, because you don't want to head to that third game because you don't ever know what could happen. So we're just going to draw on our experiences from last year and from last weekend, and whatever happens happens. But yeah, I would say that's exactly what will happen.
Matt, you had a lot of teams make you throw a lot of pitches that early, trying to work counts, and how frustrating is that when they just keep fouling them off and you can't quite get them out?
Yeah, it really hasn't happened all that much this year, but it is frustrating when teams make you throw a lot of pitches. I like to attack the zone early and get guys to get themselves out early, and unfortunately that hasn't really happened the last two times out. So when the guy makes you throw pitches and forces you to go deep into counts and keeps fouling them off within an inning, not only raises your pitch count that inning but for the game, and it makes it a little more difficult on myself.
Yeah.
And Matt, to follow up there, it just looked like you were laboring a little bit in those last couple of innings. Did the heat bother you at all? I mean, it just seemed like you weren't comfortable out there.
No, the heat didn't bother me really. Just mechanically, I wasn't consistently repeating myself, and I think that's what got me. The first inning, I felt really good, and arm slot was good, and then in the later innings, I just wasn't as consistent and flying open a little bit, and that's just it's not acceptable. And I just gotta get out there this week and work, and hopefully make sure that doesn't happen again.
Mike, I know last week you felt pretty adamant that you guys could come back and survive. I wonder how you feel right now and what makes you believe you could do it again.
I feel good. I think like George was talking about before, we've been in this situation so many times that, you know, it's almost, we're an old hand at it. It's trying to get everything going in like the early innings and stuff. Definitely worked out today, and we just couldn't kind of keep that going. But I think tomorrow we just got to jump on them again and put more pressure on them. You know, there are a couple key situations where we didn't get the big knock, they did. So we'll have to see, and if we can do that, I think we'll be pretty successful.
Mike, what is it about Roth that keeps you from getting good swings against him?
He did a great job of mixing up his stuff for everybody. You know, he could float that change and it just looks so good for a strike, and then can throw it out of the zone where he wants to, and you know, he can throw that breaker up. You know, and we're down and away, a foot off the plate like the last at bat. But you know, when a guy can do that, it makes his fastball look that much better, especially with the movement that he was getting.
Anything else for the student athletes?